The Beer Guys Radio Show on demand is brought to you by Truck and Tap. Food trucks, craft beer, not your ordinary bar and restaurant. In downtown Woodstock. Online at truckandtap.com. The Beer Guys Radio Show. Saturday afternoons at 1 on Atlanta's AM 920. The Answer. Streaming to the world at beerguysradio.com. Proudly broadcasting from the AM 920 studios in Buckhead, Atlanta. It's the Beer Guys Radio Show. The only radio show in the South dedicated to art, science, and enjoyment of craft beer. Now, here are your hosts, Tim Dennis and Aaron Williams.
And welcome to the Beer Guys Radio Show. Once again, I'm Aaron Williams.
I'm Tim Dennis.
And welcome back to another great show. Tim, of course, is an active award-winning homebrewer, Georgia beer raconteur, advocate for Georgia breweries, all-around beer nut expert. Can I call you a beer geek?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
You're okay with that? Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I just like to drink beer, and I'm kind of a beer nerd, too, so I'm working on that,
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's not.
Beer is good.
The beer is definitely good. And again, Beer Guys Radio is here for another hour. BeerGuysRadio.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Beer Guys Radio. This week in Georgia Beer, find out what's going on the weekends, plan your weekend events and releases and all that cool stuff. Tim does a great job with that. Just head over to our website and sign up, and you could be in the running to win stuff. We've got some cool stuff going on this week, speaking of, Tim.
Yeah, nice busy week.
Definitely.
Plenty of stuff going on. Keep you busy. Keep your thirst quenched.
And that's right. We've got that coming up later on in the show. And currently in the show right now, we've got Jekyll in the house, the Alpharetta brewery that's been growing in popularity. I'm seeing your stuff all over the place now, and we'll talk to them about it. Josh Rachel is here, co-owner and brewmaster. He joins us in studio. How's it going?
What's up, man? How you guys doing?
Good.
We're fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
glad to be here.
Great. And you know what? We've got beer of the week already. Truck and Tap's beer of the week. He's been kind enough to open one for us. What are we drinking on right now?
Well, I brought in some Fixin 2, which is our session India Pale. It's easy drinker. It's all late edition hopped. It's just it's kind of in your face at the same time, but not leaving that lingering harsh bitterness really. So it's a good spring coming into spring beer.
You know, that was something I was just talking to some friends earlier this week about. Some of the session IPAs, they really go over the top,
right?
You know, and they drown out that session aspect of the beer. So it's nice. This one is really nice. It does have. I'm not big on huge bitterness in IPAs. I used to say I didn't care for IPAs, and you know my tastes have changed.
Yeah.
I do enjoy.
We'll bring
them.
you over to the dark side soon enough.
Yeah. But this one's good. It's nicely balanced, but it does have a very bold hop aroma to it.
Right.
Yeah,
and like I said, it being late edition, you know, we're getting all that bitterness at the back end. It's not up front. It's all towards the back of the tongue. And you definitely get that. I'm sure the melon, papaya, and all that goodness going on at the same time.
Yeah. Now the name Fixin 2. So I know I didn't used to know that phrase. I learned that phrase in 6th grade. I moved to Mississippi from Nebraska.
Okay.
And I'm at lunch, and a kid comes up to me and says he'd got a good grade on his test, and he said, "I'm fixing to go show Miss Thomas my test grade." Had no idea what he was talking about. No idea what he was about to do there. So, but of course I've been in the South a long time, so I do know what Fixin 2 means now. But how do you decide to name this beer Fixin 2?
You know, with a lot of our brands and a lot of our naming, you know, we do a round table, and it started from when we were in the garage doing a round table, and you know, what do we want to put this beer with as far as a name and a brand. And you know, for this one, we were set around, obviously, a round table, and had a couple beers and dug it out over a few hours, and we came to the conclusion, you know, what are we always fixing to do? What are we going to do? Blah, blah, blah. And you're like, well, Fixin 2. What are we fixing to do? Well, this beer is perfect for it because guess what? We're fixing to do whatever the hell we want.
Right.
What do we want to do?
Yeah.
So we kind of put that with it.
We're fixing to name this beer.
Yeah,
That's
we're
what
fixing to go on the boat, go fishing.
Very
We're fixing
cool,
to
man.
go for a hike, whatever you want to do. This is a good one for it.
You can add anything in there.
Definitely. Now, speaking of Fixin 2, we fixed 2. That's the.
Does that work?
I don't know if that works. That was horrible. Right. That's why I'm a journalism major.
Yes.
Do a couple of drinking things that we had over the week. What did you drink this week? What was on your list?
You know, I had, of course, we went to the Depot Park Beer Fest.
Yes, we'll have to debrief on that. That was an amazing time.
That was good. So I had a few of them there that were pretty good. I drank, not a lot. Allergies have been bugging me this week.
That's the worst. I know.
So other than Depot Park, I haven't had a whole lot, but I did enjoy. There were some collaborations there. The Dry County one, the Pina Colada IPA. I really enjoyed that one a lot.
And that one went quick too. I was lucky to find it. I stumbled across it. And I was like, oh, give it to me. Yeah. So
the good old Cigar City Hunapoos.
Of course.
I had some of that. Had to enjoy that. And then I believe it was a lemon meringue cask. That
was great.
from
Southern Sky. Yeah.
That I really enjoyed. How about you, Aaron? What did you have this week?
You know what? We had some great beers over there, too. I had to, the standout was the Orange Creamsicle. I can remember, Killboy Powerhead. Is that what it was?
Okay.
Yes, that's what it is.
Killboy Powerhead.
That's one of my favorite ones that they make over at Burnt Hickory. And, again, had a ton of beer there. I'll have to go check my Untapped to see what happened. But other day, also, I had a couple of beers down at the Lincoln Fill Station. Three Taverns Double Shot. Have you had that one before?
I had it last year at a beer fest.
Yeah, it's a great beer. I mean, a nice double with a coffee background on that. That was fantastic. And also went on the West Coast a little bit. I never had this before, and I was excited to try it. It was the Stone Sierra Nevada North by South IPA that they aged in the gin barrels. And that was an interesting take. I never really thought about an IPA being aged like that, but it's got a little bit of that juniper in there, and you could taste that. And it was interesting. It was. I'm glad I could catch that on draft, and it was fun.
Interesting, huh? Something to try, right?
It was. Yeah. I don't know if I'd do it again, but it was something to check off the list, actually.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Josh, how about you? What did you drink that was interesting this week?
Well, a bunch of pollen, because I was actually going to try to make it out there to that beer fest, and this came down with the funk.
I hear you.
And so I've been kind of down and out. Yesterday was the first day I've actually got my palate back, so I'm just happy to be able to enjoy a beer.
Drink something, right?
So I was kind of out last week, so...
Yeah, pollen's a mess, man. I'm glad it's it looks like we're kind of over the hump, I think, coming into late spring.
Don't say that.
I know.
You'll tempt it to
once I do that, the pollen count will be like 28,000 next week, so we'll be okay. So speaking of pollen counts or things that are bad for us, well, I guess it's not necessarily a bad thing, but Tim, you've been all over this. He's been doing yeoman's work covering the Department of Revenue and all these Georgia beer laws, and I applaud you for that. I'm going to give you praise because you're not one to do that on yourself, but that's like I said, yeoman's work. It's a Job-like mentality of having to read all that stuff and analyze it and talk to people and kind of see what it does for us. So,
boy, when these new when the regulation commentary came out, it's 28 pages where SB 63 was like 8 pages. So not a lot of that is definitions, this and that. So,
exactly, but still,
but the meat and potatoes of it, Aaron, are that it went back to basically the way it was at SB 63. Breweries are going to be able to do their variable pricing. They're going to be able to use social media. That is a big one. Before, as we've discussed, they could, if someone tweeted, if someone said, "Hey Josh, where can I get Fixin to?" You can find it at your favorite local retailer, right?
Right, exactly.
So you couldn't say that.
It's hard.
So, it's so that's something that both the wholesalers and the retailers will be able to do that now. Use that kind of thing. Another thing that's a little different is they've added in the ability to do special events.
Yep.
And there is some potential there. Some breweries are already kind of speculating as to what they can do with that type of thing. Something that breweries aren't necessarily too excited about this. Could have some potential going forward, but they can sell food now. So, but it has to be included as part of a non-itemized bill. So that limits, what they're able to do with that. So, the big thing, of course, is the variable pricing. That they're able to do that. So it keeps them from a one-size-fits-all thing, and kind of lets them customize the experience a little bit more. And it's not a retail sale.
No,
they've been very careful. You're getting free souvenirs, but it will allow breweries to have some revenue at the brewery, rather than having to send it all to wholesale, which is going to be really good for the growth of the breweries.
Yeah, definitely. That's certainly one of the big ones. I know last year they were kind of excited about that, had some opening day events, and then the DOR just kind of yanked it back, and it really threw everyone for a loop for a while.
Sure did.
Yeah. So a couple of other things going on, too. Ponce City Market, have you been there, by the way?
I have. It's really nice.
It's a really cool thing, and they're just starting to open things up. Looks like they've got a new beer bar that's opening up there. I think Tap is a growler shop. But also they've got a rooftop beer garden that they've been planning too.
I saw that.
Yeah, with like mini golf and like a bunch of fair food and some.
They said very Coney Island-esque.
Yes, I've seen the renditions of it, so it looks very interesting. So we'll have to look forward to that.
Yes, right.
The funnel cake,
corn dogs. There you go. That's what I'm looking for.
And then get on the giant slide and let all that mix up there. So
I'd hate to be the janitor for that.
Right, no kidding.
Yeah, and also sort of a congratulations to Sweetwater, by the way. The Brewers Association just named them one of the top 50 craft breweries. They checked in actually at number 18, and actually number 25 overall when you factor in all the big ones, the AB InBevs and all that stuff. They're one of only 3 in the South to make that list, by the way. Abita checked in at 23, of course, in Louisiana, and Gambrinus in Texas makes Shiner and Bridgeport. They were number 5. So Sweetwater, one of the only 3 breweries in the South to be one of the top 50 craft breweries. So congratulations to the folks down the street. So, and then kind of sad news. I want to insert the sad trombone here, by the way. Masters Week, Augusta, very stead, very, a top-of-the-line golf tournament. I'm not a golfer, but I know it's a big deal.
Right.
Yeah, it's good news for them, by the way. They're offering American craft beer now.
That's great.
Yeah. Do you know what kind of craft beer they're doing?
I'm assuming they have a huge variety of excellent local
They
beers.
do. Jekyll. No, they're not, actually. It's
Yes.
Blue Moon.
You're right. What?
Okay.
Well, hopefully at least you can get an orange slice in there, right?
I think you do, actually, along to go with your pimento cheese sandwiches.
That's right.
So there you go.
That's their American craft beer, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Blue Moon.
It's Blue Moon.
Okay.
So
All right.
guys, you're getting there, guys, at the Masters, but if you need some suggestions, give us a call. We'll help you out next
Right.
year. That's right. So real quick before we take to our first break, by the way, the Braves opening day is coming is here, so very exciting there. Turner's a little bit better than the folks over at the Masters, and I know they do have Sweetwater and Terrapin there. I've had some of that before, so good for them. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and take a break, I think. Talk a little bit more with Josh from Jekyll Brewing and get into more about what goes on with him and what goes on to the folks up in Alpharetta.
Right. Yeah, you're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
This is Glenn Golden from Jailhouse Brewing Company. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show, Georgia Radio for Georgia Beer.
Oh no, I've said too much. I set it up. That's me in the corner.
Hey, it's Aaron. I want to give a quick shout out to our newest sponsor. It's HopSpot Beer Tours of Atlanta. Now, there's a lot of tours out there, but what makes HopSpot Beer Tours different? Well, you get exposure. There's more to Atlanta craft beer than just breweries. A HopSpot Beer Tour gives you the who, what, where, and when to craft beer right here in Atlanta and the state. Education. Whether you're a native, a transplant, or a visitor, you'll always learn something new. And connection. HopSpot connects you to guests, local breweries, and businesses to create those lasting relationships. We invite you to check out what makes HopSpot different. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter and Instagram at HopSpotATL, and of course, visit HopSpotBeerTours.com. Use promo code BeerGuys10 and receive 10% off your order. HopSpot Beer Tours. Hop on, get connected. That's HopSpotBeerTours.com.
Don't forget to drink local and drink Georgia. Now, back to the Beer Guys.
And welcome back. It's the Beer Guys Radio Show. I'm Aaron.
I am Tim.
And you can always reach us at beerguysradio.com, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at Beer Guys, all that good stuff. And, of course, this week in Georgia Beer, sign up and win stuff, possibly. And also, even more importantly, Tim's list of all the beer events and happenings in the state of Georgia for that week. Just head over to the website, click your email address, and we won't spam you. But every Friday morning, you'll get an awesome list. So we've got that going for us, which is nice.
All the scoop. You know what's
right.
up.
That's it. So, yep. Right now in studio, we have got Josh Rachel, co-owner and brewmaster of Jekyll up in Alpharetta, and he was kind enough to share a couple of beers with us. We had the Fixin in our first segment. I just like saying Fixin. But the second one, I've been really excited to try. So, can you tell us more about what we're drinking on right now?
Yeah, so this is our Hop Dang Diggity, which is our IPA, and it's infused with pineapple and habanero. So we put that up. We launched that about 2 months ago, roughly, and finishing up with it this month. So this is probably the last. This is the last batch you'll be trying right now. So I wanted to bring that up and let you guys try it.
Appreciate it.
I haven't tried this yet. I have some at home, but I haven't got to it. But I'd heard some other people talk about it being hot, but
right.
It's not to me. Maybe that's just my palate, but it's a nice balance with the pineapple, the habanero. There's a little warmth there, but it's not overly hot. So.
Right, and I hear that a lot. And to be honest with you, and it's actually a good thing, I think, as far as a craft guy goes here is, we're using real habaneros and real pineapple and all those things. And anybody knows with a pepper, how many seeds you're going to put in there, how much of that membrane are you going to put in there.
Yeah,
that's going to make a huge difference to the beer. And we sit around there and cut peppers for 2.5 hours in the morning, and then we crawl up on the top of the tank and drop them down. And you kind of never know. I mean, you want to be on the safer side, obviously, but you really, I feel like you taste the pepper in this beer, and it kind of blends in with that pineapple. And some of our drafts previously in the years before, when we really were doing like a half barrel at a time, it might have been a little hotter because, we were just a couple peppers in at a time. But now we're dealing with several pounds. But it's still cool that we're able to, use those real ingredients and stuff.
That's all. It always makes for a better beer.
For sure.
I've had some that have the extracts and that. You can always, some of them are good.
Yeah.
But you can tell, when you use the real ingredients, it makes a big difference in the beer.
Yeah, definitely. So now, Jekyll was started back in 2011. Is that correct? Is that about right?
2011. That's when Mike, he's my business partner. He's the founder, president, CEO, whatever. We can give him all kinds of tags because we all do a little bit of everything around there. Many hats around the world. So, he started the idea of Jekyll and taking the name Jekyll from Jekyll Island, obviously Georgia, and paying homage to the history here in Georgia. And we wanted to take that and bring it to Alpharetta. So later on, we met up and. I ended up getting involved, and I deal with the operations, and he does more of the business side. And we're a real yin and a yang, but in a really good way. So it's pretty cool to see.
Well, it's good. You got to have that, the balance.
Definitely.
Make sure everybody knows where their skills lie. It helps things to run.
It's not a one man show. It definitely not when you look at it.
Now, you guys are located up in Alpharetta.
We are, yes.
The dreaded OTP.
OTP,
baby. We had
it.
some chats about that online this week. Just
strip malls everywhere.
ITP, OTP.
That's right. We got three OTPers here, so they're outnumbered on the radio show.
Yeah.
So it's
we
good.
got this one. But what made you decide to locate there in Alpharetta?
I pretty much I grew up in Alpharetta. I went to high school there. Moved down from Tennessee. Went to high school in Alpharetta. Moved off to college and got a marketing degree from West Georgia. And then moved back to Alpharetta, and it was January of 2009. So the economy was trash then.
Yes, it was.
So there was nothing going on if you had a degree or didn't have a degree. So came back home and started working and doing homebrew stuff.
Okay.
So when we decided we wanted to do the brewery gig, I definitely wanted to be somewhere close for me because I knew I'd be sleeping there for the most part. So might as well sleep in my own bed if I'm 5 minutes away.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned you started working in homebrew. How long had you been homebrewing prior to getting to working it there?
I was doing about close to 5 years. I was homebrewing, doing competitions, and I really got involved with those kinds of things. I pretty much I helped a lot of people in the Atlanta area from Brew Depot over there. Get into homebrewing or helping build recipes or equipment and all those little things that make the beer on a homebrew level, and really enjoyed it. And I took that in my house, and I'd run 12 beers on tap at home.
Nice. Yeah. You're the place to be on the weekends, then, if that's the case. So
Used to be.
That's right.
Now Jekyll's the place to be.
That's right.
Where all the beers are on
That's
tap.
my new garage.
So, there you go. We're talking to Josh Rachel right now, co-owner and brewmaster of Jekyll, just talking about his beers, drinking on his Hop Dang Diggity Pineapple Habanero IPA, which is absolutely delicious, and almost ready to turn the page to another seasonal, correct? Is that what you guys are planning on doing right now? Is that
like moving forward as far as beers we're putting out?
Yeah.
So we are actually we're doing a little bit of an infusion series right now. The next one will be coming out in May, the first week of May, and we're going to be doing our Big Creek Kolsch style, and we're going to be infusing that with pear.
Okay.
It's kind of like what we're drinking now with the habanero and pineapple deal, but it's definitely a different beer altogether. It's really cool to emphasize on the pear notes with what comes with a Kolsch style.
That's what because the Kolsch naturally, without the addition of pear, has some
right. It can have tones of pear in it, and it's the hardest beer we make to be honest. Just the Kolsch itself, because it's so labor intensive, the filtering we do and everything in between. It's so adding this next dimension to it. It's gonna be really great, I think, for the market too.
Yeah, it's funny. I've always heard. Again, I'm kind of new to this scene, but if you can make a Kolsch, then you're doing a pretty good job because it is a difficult style to make.
Those lighter, delicate styles are tricky. They're less forging.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like a lager.
Beers.
I mean, it's the hybrid, so it's got a lot of those characteristics you want to mind.
Now we'd talked a little bit earlier in the news segment about the DOR regulations that are coming up there.
Yep.
So some good things in there. So what do you see coming from that, and what's that mean for Jekyll?
When we came into this, it was what it was at the time. And we still went forward, and we wanted to do what we're doing today. So it kind of goes along with how I came out of West Georgia in 2009, being that cruddy economy, right? I mean, hopefully it can only get better. And that's kind of what we're hoping for here. There's a lot of drive and a lot of push, and the guild's doing great things. A lot more people are becoming aware of their surroundings and about beer and what breweries and brew pubs are here to do. And it's not just about making beer. It's giving back to the community you're in and involved with. So it's just a matter of time before we can convince the right people that we're here to do good things, not just to get drunk and sit on the side of the road, because that's not what it's about.
I've been chatting with Mike some via Twitter,
Yeah.
and we missed it. We tried to get you guys in here last month, but just
Right.
timing and all that because
Michael Lundmark, by the way, the co-owner of one of the co-owners of
Right.
Jekyll, too.
Yeah.
So,
because you guys did a fundraiser for was it cancer?
We
research
did
last year?
for
Yeah.
colon cancer. Yes.
Yeah, so that's that's something just showing that community involvement, giving
Right.
back, and that.
Yeah.
So it's something like you said. A lot of people when we talk about these laws and that, we try to say this just isn't about drinking beer.
No,
these
not at all.
These are dedicated people, small businesses, community focused, job creators,
Right.
all of that. So
Right.
it's it's great that the end product that comes out is delicious beer.
Yes.
but there's a lot more to it than that.
And I'll tell you right now, a lot of people get on this kick who don't really understand what's going on. If you're a packaged brewery or a brew pub, and then you look at distributors and stuff like that. I can't have all these 18-wheelers and tractor trailers out there, delivering beer.
Of course, yeah.
So those are good things that happen for us, and that's what makes us be able to grow our brand.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good things involved with a lot of areas in that.
Yeah, with the 3-tier system, that's that's echoed what so many other brewers have said. You don't want to be a distributor. You're a brewer,
Right,
so
for sure.
you need that partner.
Oh, definitely.
to do that side of things.
But conversely, you'd also like to have people come in, like they can in North Carolina, where you were just in Asheville.
Sure.
You could go to the Wicked Weed Funkatorium and spend a couple $100s on beer if you wanted and walked out with what you could have. So you want to kind of have the best of both worlds.
Sure.
Which, again, it's a business decision. It's something that businesses should be able to do.
It's only going to grow the brand.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, who's it hurting?
That's
Exactly.
it. Someone comes in to your brewery, they
Right.
have a pint, they enjoy it because I live 10, 15 miles from Jekyll.
Right.
I could run over there if you sold beer. I could run over there and get that. 10 miles isn't a huge distance.
For sure.
But it's a long enough distance that I'd rather buy it at the store on the corner
That's
most
it.
of the time.
Exactly.
So that's it.
Exactly.
Even, to be honest, even Reformation, that's just a few miles from me. I go there because it's close. I enjoy hanging out there, enjoy seeing what they have. But a lot of the time, I'm going to pick it up at the store that's a quarter mile from me.
Right.
So that's everybody wins in these situations. So
Definitely.
That's the plan.
Definitely.
Exactly. And we're speaking again with Jekyll, Josh Rachel, co-owner and brewmaster, drinking on his Hop Dang Diggity with one of our Truck and Tap beers of the week. We're going to take a quick little break right now because we can. How about that? And we'll come back on the flip side talking more with Josh about what's going on at the beer and just kind of getting into some beer nerd talk. How about that? More in depth of some of the cool stuff that he's got going on up there in Alpharetta. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
And we will be right back.
Want more beer, guys? Make that want more beer, guys? Follow Tim and Aaron on Twitter at Beer Guys Radio, Facebook, Instagram, and online, beerguysradio.com. The Beer Guys are back after this.
This is Tim and Aaron from the Beer Guys, and here's the deal. You've got that one friend, that one you can never shop for. He's got all that cool stuff. Yeah, that guy.
Well, we found something that they don't have, but they're going to want. The Atlanta Brew Box is a Georgia craft beer experience to go. Each box contains tour passes, a t-shirt, and a bunch of other swag from our local breweries. It's fully customizable, and starting at only $40, it's a great gift idea.
It's unique, it's fun, and it is Atlanta. Head to beerguysradio.com, click the link on the right-hand side of our webpage, and that will get you there. It's the Atlanta Brew Box, the Georgia craft experience in a box.
It's Aaron and Tim, the Beer Guys. If you're like us, no lunch or dinner is complete without a pint or two of craft beer.
Which is why Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock is always on our list. Tim, why do they call it Truck and Tap?
Well, the tap part is easy. They have 12 of them. Bottles, too. Not sure what to drink? All of their beer servers are Cicerone certified. And if you got someone who isn't a beer fan, not to worry. Truck and Tap carries wine, mixed drinks, and even handcrafted sodas.
As for the truck part, well, that's when it gets interesting. Truck and Tap features your favorite Atlanta area food trucks daily. That way, you're getting a different menu every day.
Check it out. Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com. Let them know that the Beer Guys sent you.
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
And like the man said, it's the Beer Guys Radio Show. I'm Aaron.
I'm Tim.
And we are here in studio with
Josh.
Josh, that's right.
Rachel.
That's my
Jekyll
name. I'm
Brewing.
sorry you forgot it.
No more beer for you, Aaron. You're
oh,
done,
man. Listen, I'm looking forward to the thing we're cracking open here in a
See.
little bit. So no more for
Yeah.
me. That's right. So, speaking of beers, let's talk beer. You've got a nice mix of year-round beers, like I said, that are pretty approachable, pretty drinkable, but you've also got something that kind of appeals to some of the more adventurous folks out there. What's your philosophy about creating a menu, I guess, or a lineup of your beers?
For sure. I like to keep it classic. I like to keep, roll with the classic styles, get your roots, get cemented in the ground a little bit. You want to definitely establish the baseline. And, with the Kolsch, the IPA and some of those beers, do those, throw a little flair in there, but, make a really good style beer as well. So, after we really did that, the next focus was let's do something a little more crazy for us, and coming out with some bigger beers, which is hard too, by the way, on as production goes. Especially with how we operate and with our brew house and everything else. I mean, it can be difficult. So, we push the limits a lot on some of those items with the process, with creating, Copious, our American Imperial Stout, our OTG barley wine, stuff like that. Along the way.
Yeah, those big beers, I know they're tough on a homebrew scale even. I can't imagine. And the bigger you get, the harder it is to do the same beer from batch to batch.
Right, and keep it authentic.
Right.
You don't want to add some stuff in there just to, make it more alcohol. You want to make it real. And, we do a lot of double mashing on those big beers like that, and run it over to the brew kettle and tear it up like that, and the guys are humping it all the time at Jekyll.
So with the double mash, are you mashing, draining the wort, and then add more, mashing it a second time?
Yeah, so we'll mash in once, and then we'll pull first runnings off, and maybe sparge with just a little bit of water just to kind of rinse it, and then collect that and keep it a little hot, and then or even sometimes start boiling at that point. Run a second mash in there and do the same thing again. And then throw that on top, and now we're with a full kettle, and we'll let it roll that way.
Little pseudo party guile,
yeah,
kind of thing there, right?
It kind of is. Yeah, the guys. It gets kind of funny. You see the guys coming out of every nook and cranny in the place. They're like, "Let me fill this up right here. Oh, we'll boil this on the side later."
Right.
We'll do some side things, which is pretty cool. Especially for the guys who are brewing some of the same beers, day in and day out. It's really cool to give that creative outlet. So
because when you get to where you've got beers that are popular in production level,
right.
I mean, I know a lot of guys that are home brewers want to get into brewing because they want to up the level of hanging out with their buddies and brewing all these cool beers. But
right.
when you got a production schedule, it changes the game.
It does.
It's not always, a Saturday hanging out in the garage with your buddies brewing a batch of beer is a lot different than having to get pallets upon pallets of hop dang diggity out to the wholesaler.
You've got orders coming through, exactly.
Yeah.
Right, definitely. And, it's like cooking. When you cook, you're like, oh, throw a little pinch of this in, a little bit of that, and you like doing that. Well, when production comes around, it's like, well, really, what's the recipe here? It's like, let me try to
I have to make 20 of these steaks the exact same way. You need to tell me what to do.
And, along those lines, we're doing some really radical stuff just in production alone with, having a 10-barrel brew house currently, direct fire, two-piece, system, going into 30 barrels originally, which was like, man, this is just crazy, taking us a day and a half, which was just extreme, to now, we're going to 100-barrel tanks. So we're doing 10 to 1, which is, I know it's out there, but I don't think there's that many people out there doing that.
So you got 100-barrel tanks and you're still on a 10-barrel brew house?
Oh, all day.
Boy, that's some work right there.
I say that.
No wonder why you sleep at the set.
Yeah, right.
The guys at Jekyll right now are like, yeah, right, all day. Let me tell you something right now. Yeah, it's a lot of work, and a lot of guys put a lot of effort into it, and I owe it to them for sure. That they're busting their hump.
Now, of course, it's all work, but you have it a little fun, too. You've got the GR series that you release at the tap room every week.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about how that came about and some of the things that you're doing with that.
We really wanted to, we had these, we were trying to create, our, the brand and, the styles of beer that we were making, out in the public, so people would understand what they are, being able to see them. We had to, create another outlet for something different for us. So we did that, and I try to brew once a week or at least every other week, or give other guys the opportunity to brew and, showcase something on a Thursday that's a little different, even if it's taking another beer and doing something with it in between, do whatever you want. There's no limit on that. And so I try to put a new beer up every week, which I think I've missed like maybe 3 in the last year and a half, which is also difficult on the creative side. I'll tell you that right now, because it starts running dry a little bit for a minute. And you're like, oh my God, give me some lube.
Yeah.
But, it's really cool to be able to see the people come in and try some different stuff. And we've been really good at putting that up.
Yeah, and you guys, I believe it was at Halloween, you actually had an employee brew off, didn't
Yes,
you?
we've tried to do a couple of those.
I went over there and enjoyed that, and it's neat to see, it was fun. Those guys were competitive there.
Oh, yeah.
I got to admit, I kind of stuffed the box a little bit because I voted for my buddy's brew, we talked about Joe earlier that used to work with you guys.
Exactly.
And, I voted for him before I even tasted his beer.
Cheater.
And someone else who had brewed a beer wasn't really happy with me for doing that.
Do you remember his costume? His costume was awesome.
He went as Josh Rachel.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was a dead ringer. I saw the pictures. It's funny that the uniform that you have there at the brewery that and Joe's got you guys got the same structure in that, so he got him a nice wig and got us set up.
I'm not gonna lie, it freaked me out. I mean, it honestly took me like 3 takes to figure out. Oh my gosh, this is weird.
That's when we first got there. There were people that were coming up and thinking, like walking up from behind, thinking he was you.
Right.
And they're like, Joe, what are you doing, man?
That's
so
funny.
it was pretty funny.
My hair looks that bad.
Dead ringer.
You never
dead
know
ringer.
until that happens. Yeah. So, well, speaking of holidays, I got to tell you, one of my favorite beers that I've had last year was your Redneck Christmas Stout.
Awesome. Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. Tell me a little bit about how that came about.
Redneck Christmas. It was a combination of things, and I've with the Jekyll beers and what we put up, with all the different styles that were styles that I put together as a home brewer, and definitely brought them to the table, and they're here in front of us today. With the Redneck Christmas, it was an export stout that I originally brewed, and we had a guy at the time who wanted to do some cold coffee steeping and, do some coffee introduction. And, that was pretty cool. And it's always something good when you can learn something from somebody. If you don't learn something every day, it's a bad day as far as I'm concerned.
Definitely.
And so we did some cold steeping. And then another who's now our head brewer, Brian, Boo Baby, he was like, he's going to be really upset when he hears the baby part in there. This Boo, he was using some Folgers. And I'm not going to lie, guys. That's what makes it kind of redneck is that we don't use any crazy coffee.
You go to the fancy schmancy whole bean coffee. It's Folgers. That's good stuff.
Amazon loved us. I'll tell you that.
Who are these people ordering a pallet of Folgers?
I mean, it was really cool. It was some Folgers coffee mocha, and I'm not scared to say that. I mean, it was a real ingredient. I mean, and it turns out to be a good beer, and we add some peppermint in there. I do add some organic extract to it because peppermint's such a weird thing. You don't want it to be too vegetal, or it's real controlled at that point. So it was a fun beer, and it wasn't just me on that. It was other people. So I don't want everybody to think oh, Josh, stealing somebody's recipe. No, I give total credit to anybody where credit's due.
We can see that next Christmas too. This Christmas coming up.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
We're going to definitely put it up.
Cool.
That's something that, you got the beer geese coming up. Oh, this is nice. What variety of coffee did you use? Folgers.
Folgers, yes.
Have you heard of Walmart?
Yes. Yeah.
That's right. No, listen, but while we were talking, Tim, by the way, snuck something.
I did.
I'm a little disappointed in you, Tim. No,
no, I'm going to share.
Okay,
so it's
good.
all good. So that's, Josh, you told us a little bit about this when you came in here. That's we got a little vintage bottle here. So what did I just open up here?
So that's our off-the-grid English-style barley wine.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, that's a great picture on there, huh?
Yeah, it's awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's 2014, so that was the first year we did it. It was me and my dad. My dad, was kind of a point man on getting me into where I'm at today. I guess a lot of people could probably say that, but for sure with brewing and my dad, an English barley wine was what my dad always brewed and, was very successful with on the homebrew circuit with awards, even nationally. So, there's a whole long story. I don't even know if there's time for talk about it, but, coming back out of college and saying, Dad, what do you want to do for Father's Day? He's like, hey, man, come home and brew with me. And I'm like, cool. Okay, let's come home and brew. And so I did that. And maybe I didn't like it at the time, but, a year later, I'm back at home, and I'm getting a job through his homebrew guy.
See?
And 4 years later, here I am.
Pass the torch then, so very cool.
I can relate to that. My dad just retired, and he moved down here, and my mom said that he needed a hobby, and so we just started homebrewing together, too.
Awesome.
So it's really cool. Definitely.
My dad's not into brewing. He lives over in Arkansas. We see each other occasionally, but he did come over here and happened to come over for my birthday one year, and there was a beer tasting. And I said, hey, Dad, I want to go to this beer tasting. You want to go? And he kind of begrudgingly went there. And I said, here, try this, Dad. And he tried a couple of them. And at the end of it, he was raised on Coors Lights and that. Yeah. That's what my dad knows is beer. So at the end of it, he said, it was he really enjoyed it. He said, when you said you were going to a beer tasting, I thought that was just code for going out to get drunk. So I was like, no, we're just really tasting the beers.
Yeah, there's a difference. There's a difference.
Yeah, it's a good time. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be right back, and you are listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
The Beer Guys are back after this.
Hey, it's Aaron. I want to give a quick shout out to our newest sponsor. It's HopSpot Beer Tours of Atlanta. Now, there's a lot of tours out there, but what makes HopSpot Beer Tours different? Well, you get exposure. There's more to Atlanta craft beer than just breweries. A HopSpot Beer Tour gives you the who, what, where, and when to craft beer right here in Atlanta and the state. Education. Whether you're a native, a transplant, or a visitor, you'll always learn something new. And connection. HopSpot connects you to guests, local breweries, and businesses to create those lasting relationships. We invite you to check out what makes HopSpot different. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter and Instagram at HopSpotATL, and of course, visit HopSpotBeerTours.com. Use promo code BeerGuys10 and receive 10% off your order. HopSpot Beer Tours. Hop on, get connected. That's HopSpotBeerTours.com.
We want to know what you got on tap. Give us a call, 678-861-8AL. Now, back to the Beer Guys.
And it's the Beer Guys Radio Show final segment. I'm Aaron.
I'm Tim.
And we are back with Josh Rachel, co-owner and brewmaster of Jekyll. Wrapping things up with him out here. I've heard you got some shout-outs to give to the hardworking folks that help run Jekyll.
Yeah, well, they gave me a little heck when they knew I was coming up here to talk about the beer brewing and
there you go.
Making that good stuff over there. So I definitely want to give a shout-out to everybody who's involved. I mean, not only in the beer industry, but especially at Jekyll. Brian and Scott and all the guys that definitely get us to where we're at on a daily basis, and all our cellarmen and Joe and Dave and Brett. Those guys, it's not about one person when it comes to brewing beer, and I definitely want to make sure that I could spend a few seconds to give a quick shout out to those guys. And it's not only the operations, it's the business side too, because there's two sides to the coin, And
you got to sell your beer, right?
You got to market it. Somebody's got to sell it.
Right.
And thank you for bringing that up, Tim.
Yeah.
Let's give a shout out to the sales team as well.
There you go.
Definitely.
But yeah, everybody does a hell of a job, and I really appreciate all the hard work it's done. And we wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be here today being able to talk to you guys if they weren't there. So definitely want to give a shout out.
Take the village, man. It's not one person can't do it.
We're
good. It's
we're
a team effort, right?
We're 24/7, brother. So
awesome.
we're rolling hard and rolling thick.
Very cool, man.
Well, you guys are definitely making waves and really kind of growing the business, which is awesome to see. So congratulations on that.
Appreciate that.
Josh, thanks for chatting with us today. We're going to cover some weekly events and that. Feel free to chime in.
I'll try. I could talk all day now.
We appreciate it. That's it. It's easy to sit around and talk about beer.
Yeah,
I know.
I wish there was another 2 hours involved here,
right.
but
we'll have to work on that.
I know. Hey, you know what, guys? Thank you so much for doing what you do. I think it really brings a good knowledge and perspective to what's going on in Georgia with the beer and the industry. And, to some people who don't even know what's going on. And, it's really cool to listen to you guys, and appreciate the opportunity.
No,
we appreciate it. Thank you, Josh.
Fun. So,
awesome.
Tim is the man. He's the one who does all the research. What's going on this week?
Yeah, we got some great things coming up this week. It's the tail end of Athens Beer Week, so they've got some great events there. Today, wrapping up, you missed this one, the beer brunch there at Catch 22.
Sorry.
But there is also a pig picking and low country boil at Southern Brewing Company. That's noon to 4, so still some time to catch that.
Nice.
The Board of Education Let Loose Tour, that's 2 to 6 at Jailhouse Brewing. And Terrapin's 14th Anniversary Fest, 14 years old over there. So
awesome.
That starts at 4:30 p.m. So tomorrow we've got a beer brunch at South Kitchen and Bar. And the big one, Beer Guys will be there, Aaron.
Yep.
The 21st Annual Classic City Brew Fest.
That's going to be a big one.
So this is a big festival. So it's, not only in Georgia, but this has been ranked one of the top 10 festivals in the country a couple of times. I saw the cask list, and just on the cask list alone, not even counting the other beers, I'm really looking forward to what's going on over there.
Yeah, a friend of the show, Owen Ogletree, does a great job with that.
Absolutely.
So,
he does a lot of great events.
He
Owen's
definitely
very
does.
active, so very good stuff.
I'm very jealous of all the trips and things that he does, too.
No doubt. So that's great. We're really looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
There'll also be the post Brewfest gatherings at a few different places. They'll kick off at 6 p.m. and that's at Copper Creek Brew Pub, High-Low Lounge, Bricks Pizza, and Trapeze Pub.
So busy beer events in Athens. Take an Uber, even better. Just stay the night.
That's it. That's exactly what I'm doing. So I'll be over there. I'm going to stay the night there. So then going into next week, Tuesday, the 12th, Wild Heaven Beer Dinner. That's at Revival Decatur. And that's the first one that kicks off a series. They're going to be doing 4 beer dinners throughout the summer. But the Wild Heaven one starts things off there. So that's one to check out.
Very cool.
And then Wednesday is the Funk Fest and Solera Project #1 release at Red Brick. That's from 5 to 8. Definitely something to check out. And there is a game night at Reformation Brewery. They do that pretty regularly. Those that have attended said it's a really good time. They break out some board games, tabletop games, drink some beer and play some games, Aaron.
Play some Risk and have a couple of Starks.
Yeah. Then if you want to plan ahead, next Saturday is a Creature Comforts 2-year anniversary. Check that out on our website or on their website. Some really cool stuff going on there. The Helen Spring Beer Fest. You know, Helen's always about the German beer up there.
Yeah, exactly. We're coming up on the 500th anniversary of the Rhine is good.
That's the Rhine Hoskobot.
Thank you. Very good.
Like that.
You're much better at that than I am. So
also Hogs and Hops and barrel-aged beer and cheese pairing. That's all next Saturday.
Okay.
So some stuff to plan ahead.
So it sounds like a busy weekend going on for the rest of today and especially tomorrow with the Classic City Brewfest. And if you missed it, we've got even more stuff going on next week, too.
It's a busy week. Plenty of stuff in Georgia beer. That Athens Beer Fest, they really did a great job with that. You know, we've kind of tried here in Atlanta the last couple of years. It hasn't been quite as robust is the word I'll use. Robust as Athens.
Yeah.
But, it's a very cool little beer town over there.
Yeah, they do, of course. So. With Creature Comforts is amazing. They're only 2 years old, and they've had so much great publicity already. Southern is right there, too, and, of course, Terrapin is kind of the old guard of that. Athens is really tearing it up.
It's a cool little town.
It's a nice little town, yeah.
So for beer releases, we've got Georgia beer. We've got Orpheus Serpent Bite, which is their dry hop sour beer. And that's out in draft now, coming out in draft now. And they said cans of that one will come in about a month. So the non-Georgia beer, we've got New Belgium and Hofton Dormel's Lips of Faith Golden Ale.
Nice.
It was a little light on the beer releases this week.
Yeah,
Aaron.
it's a little bit slow out there.
Quiet, but, we usually see there's some, I saw one that's a plan brew, something that is just a label approval is what they call it from the TTB for Wild Heaven's Good Vice, which is a hoppy pale ale. So that'll be a cool one to look out for. Hoppy pales are good stuff.
By the way, we just also cracked open another beer. Not one from Jekyll, but we did crack open a Cosmic Debris from Creature Comforts. So what do you think about this one?
I'm a fan of this one.
Stank.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This is, as far as the double IPAs go, I have the first can I had, I said that I may be tempted to say this is my favorite double IPA in Georgia, but I needed further research,
of course,
before I could say that. So I'm on 3 or 4 cans now, and I got to say, it's definitely up there. This is a really, really good beer. I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
So.
It's honestly probably one of my favorite
it's
Comforts.
Great.
I mean, it's nice,
good beer, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a fan of Tropicalia. Of course, now we're heading in studio with the Jekyll guys with Josh. I do love your Hop Dang Diggity, too, which is a great IPA. And the Fixin 2 I've had, too. It's a nice, impressive one, too.
The Fixin 2 I like. Like we said, lighter on the ABV, but a good robust hop flavor aroma there. So nice stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So got a couple minutes left here, hanging out in the studio again with Josh from Jekyll. What do you guys have coming up in the next couple of months? Any new releases? I know we talked about the Kolsch that you've got with Pear. Anything else coming up on the horizon?
Boom, hit me with it. Let's see here.
Put you on the spot.
Put you on the spot.
That's
I'm trying to stretch for time.
I know. I'm glad it came back to me because I love talking, right? It's for anybody, and especially for us, it's always being able to put something out new and continuing to grow our portfolio. Let me say this again, portfolio. We got a different some different packages coming out this fall. We're going to continue our 3-month infusion bend we're doing, we're just going to keep rolling hard and rolling good. There's definitely 5 or 6 new stuff, things we're going to be putting out.
No, we brushed on this real briefly earlier, but you guys do a lot of events with music and food and all of that at the brewery.
For sure,
right now.
definitely.
So we're going to see more of that.
Definitely, especially with how stuff's changing back to how it's awesome, at least somewhat awesome.
Right.
Hopefully,
so it's we love good music, we love good beer, and I know that I at least love good food. So we'll be definitely having a lot of that going on up at the brewery for sure. And we got our 3-year coming up in August, and I know we're going to be throwing it down pretty hard.
Cool.
That's going to be a good
Keep
time.
us up to date on that. We might have to
Aaron,
crash the party.
I've got some stuff to give away.
You do have some stuff to give away, don't you?
How about that?
We not only have some swag, too, from Terrapin and from Reformation, but you also brought some cool stuff from Jekyll, too. We'll add that to the box,
sure
too.
Enough.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. So this Week in Georgia Beer winner is Jason Jones.
Congratulations, Jason.
Jason, we'll reach out to you. We'll get your info. We'll send you a little swag pack. And if you would like to be entered to win cool Georgia Beer swag, just go to beerguysradio.com, sign up for This Week in Georgia Beer. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
You'll be entered to win. Every Friday morning, you'll get the list of what's happening for the next week and a chance to win some cool Georgia Beer prizes.
And we don't spam you, we promise.
That's
That's really annoying.
Nope. We just want to tell you what's going on.
Exactly. So next week, we've got some interesting things going on as well. We're going to be talking to the guys at Abide, so we're heading to the south side, talking with some folks. I think they're in Noonan, right? Noonan Brewery there. We'll be talking to them.
Yep.
Then the week after, I'm looking forward to this one. We're going to do a little cigars and beer action,
That's right.
I think. So we have
Sean Williams.
Sean from El Premier Mundo Cigars.
El Premier Mundo. Yep, local guy.
Yep,
So
and friend of the show and beer blogger, or not beer blogger, but a cigar blogger. Brian Hewitt will be on the show too.
Brian Hewitt's with Stogie Review. Good friend of mine. We homebrew and hang out and drink beer together, and he's very knowledgeable on cigars. So we'll have Sean and Brian in here to tell us about enjoying cigars and beer together.
Yeah, definitely. So it sounds like a good plan. So that's going to do it for us this week. You've been listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. BeerGuysRadio.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, all Instagram, all that good stuff. We'll be keeping up to date with all the news and events throughout the week. But in the meantime, we must go. Thanks for listening to us, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. Miss a show? All shows are on demand on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, and wherever you get your podcasts. Follow Tim and Aaron on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Beer Guys Radio. Call the AL line at 678-861-8AL. More Beer Guys coming up next week. Same time, same place, same tap. Till then, here's to you.
It's Aaron and Tim, the Beer Guys. If you're like us, no lunch or dinner is complete without a pint or two of craft beer.
Which is why Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock is always on our list. Tim, why do they call it Truck and Tap?
Well, the tap part is easy. They have 12 of them. Bottles, too. Not sure what to drink? All of their beer servers are Cicerone certified. And if you got someone who isn't a beer fan, not to worry. Truck and Tap carries wine, mixed drinks, and even handcrafted sodas.
As for the truck part, well, that's when it gets interesting. Truck and Tap features your favorite Atlanta area food trucks daily. That way, you're getting a different menu every day.
Check it out. Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com. Let them know that the Beer Guys sent you.
This is Tim and Aaron from the Beer Guys, and here's the deal. You've got that one friend, that one you can never shop for. He's got all that cool stuff. Yeah, that guy.
Well, we found something that they don't have, but they're going to want. The Atlanta Brew Box is a Georgia craft beer experience to go. Each box contains tour passes, a t-shirt, and a bunch of other swag from our local breweries. It's fully customizable, and starting at only $40, it's a great gift idea.
It's unique, it's fun, and it is Atlanta. Head to BeerGuysRadio.com, click the link on the right-hand side of our webpage, and that will get you there. It's the Atlanta Brew Box, the Georgia craft experience in a box.